So about 3 years ago, I made a video talking about the transformer that counts as Magneto, aka Wind Charger here. However, over the years here, I started to really see that a lot of people are more ignorant about the power level of Transformers here and pretty much how Cybertrons work in general. And don't get me wrong, I am an X-Men fanatic. Some of y'all already know that. I love me the X-Men to death. Again, favorite team, favorite group, favorite TV show, and everything. Why do y'all think I'm making a what if where they have a whole ass dragon as an X-Men? Like, come on now. Y'all know y'all gonna love that in Caligon as an X-Men video. But without further ado, let's really talk about this here. Magneto himself here is not capable of soloing the Transformers verse. Not even a simple drone. Let's talk about it, right? You see, Magneto's power is the power of magnetism, or power over the electromagnetic spectrum. Let's be real here. Now, Magneto has been able to do the following. He's been able to create EMPs. Now, again, we are going to address that. And his powers actually move at the speed of thought, which is many times faster than the speed of light in not only Marvel, but DC as well here. You see, the funny part about this here, he also knows how to make his powers work instantaneously. It doesn't even matter here. He can create force field bubbles. He can manipulate all forms, or some, if not all forms of metal here. He can barely manipulate the likes of vibranium and Uru. However, he can manipulate them to a certain degree. Okay? To a certain degree. He can also reverse someone's blood flow because, again, the iron in their blood here and stuff like that there. He's been able to crush people with his helmet. And overall, he's an Omega level mutant. Meaning that he can easily get from the planetary ranges to an Autoversal level quite casually. And keep in mind, this is pretty casual for him. Him being able to fight against characters like Bleeding Edge Iron Man, Thor, okay? He's been able to take down multiple X-Men that have Omega level, mutants on them. And his most recent one, in the trial of Magneto, he fought an X-Men team that had Jean Grey, Rachel Grey, and Storm. Yeah, so all of those Omega level mutants, each capable of harming Heralds of Galactus and stuff like that there. So, yeah, even his own daughter, and Sync, by the way, who definitely should count as an Omega level mutant, because again, he's able to copy the abilities of Omega level mutants and handle their power as well here. Even been able to copy multiple powers at the same time here. So, yeah, Magneto was beating that X-Men team quite cowardly as well here, and was only beaten when his son, Quicksilver, was able to speed blitz, grab him, and straight up just beat the mess out of him with a 3-piece combo and a soda. Yeah, so, Magneto got blindsided and beaten here. So, at the end of the day here, you might ask yourselves, okay, if he can do that, why aren't you mentioning one little fee, right? And I know what you guys are going to say here, but let's actually get to that. Let's talk about the average Cybertronian, because again, I think a lot of people need to understand here that Cybertronians are not built like that. They're not machines. I mean, sure, they're called that and it's generally accepted, but they're not your typical average everyday machine here. By the way, this will exclude Primus and Unicron. He's not going to be able to bend them. I understand that some people are going to bring up the Celestial feat, but I think y'all need to look at the context here. Magneto had to use himself as a nervous system for a dead Celestial, okay? He was able to rebuild it and put it back together. Yeah, it may seem like it was no problem, but here is the very thing about it. He had to use himself as a nervous system, because again, it's dead. And he said that the longer he maintained that, the more difficult it was becoming for him. Now, again, has Magneto gotten powerful over the years? Yes. But he has never done anything on that caliber again, because, again, it can kill him. Now, let's also talk about one thing. EMPs here. Oh, well, that'll shut down Cybertronians. Y'all do realize they use that as a weapon in the war, right? And will stand next to them as they use them on other Cybertronians. They are fine with EMPs. It merely stuns them like a Pokemon paralysis. That thing ain't really gonna help at the end of the day here, okay? Even if you want to say, oh, well, Magneto's able to emit a more powerful EMP, they are more powerful entities. And their biology literally negates it. Now, did you know that Cybertronians themselves here are actually not made fully of technology? They actually have organic materials in them. Similar to how, like, cell works. They're biomechanical. All right. And the funny thing is, we also have Cybertronians that are made out of concepts. Yes, you see ores 1 through 14, or 1 through 17, or 12. You see, all of these are conceptual alloys, or concepts, excuse me, that are made into the alloys that make up the Cybertronians here. So Magneto would have to actually be able to bend concepts on some of these Cybertronians. So how would Magneto be able to bend the concept of death, resurrection, joy, happiness, love, and destruction? Again, how would he be able to do that? Well, they make it into a metal. It's still a concept at the end of the day. It's not appearing on the periodic table of multiple alloys, all right? It's not appearing on a spectrum that can be fathomed by humans or even the electromagnetic spectrum in general. And you know what the interesting part about that is here? In Transformers, the Dark Cybertron, right, run. I think this is Transformers number, let's see, I think it was number 9 for Dark Cybertron, but number 24 for a regular Transformers read here. The Cybertronians actually upgraded themselves, once again, mind you, with Ore 7, which is the concept of transmutation here, in order to combat Ore 2 Cybertronians who were made out, well, Cybertronians that were made out of Ore 2, aka death. They beat the concept of death with transmutation. Again, I'm trying to figure out how is Magneto able to even bend the fodder Cybertronians. And keep in mind, casual Cybertronians are able to go into black holes. Now, I want y'all to think about this here. What metal do y'all know can fight or even be able to withstand the gravitational crushing force of a black hole? I'll wait. Y'all couldn't find one? Me neither. Because again, we could literally Google it and we would come up with the same answer. There is no metal anywhere, nothing that would be able to survive a black hole. Yet these casual Steves, all right, these Vehicons, if you will here, are capable of fighting around a black hole. Ultra Magnus, a stronger Cybertronian, also capable of going into a black hole here to get Alpha Trion. Because again, he's at the part of the ship here that is in the black hole here. And so he's also taking a blast from Sound Blast as well here. And again, we see that it's just the combination of these two things that are just only barely tearing apart Ultra Magnus's flight mode armor. And the funny part about it is here, he still manages to get out of the black hole and leave the ship. Again, what Cybertronian or what metal is able to withstand a black hole? There's nothing that should be able to survive that. All right? The titanium, the reinforced metals and stuff like that, no, they wouldn't be able to. But here's another thing, right? Cybertronians themselves here, especially beast-based Cybertronians here, do have some organic material as well here. As we know, in the Transformers Super Neo Beast Wars comics, try to say that 3 times fast here, we have the planet Yermagander. Yes, that is actually a planet. It's a living snake planet that actually moves through the universe here. And, well, we find out that the inhabitants of this planet were originally Cobras who became Cybertronians. They were snakes, and they became Cybertronians. Now again, Magneto has an understanding of the electromagnetic spectrum. I understand that. I also understand that he's a master at magnetism with years and years upon experience here. There's no one better than him. There is no one like him. Not even his daughter, Polaris, Lorna Dane, is able to match her daddy when it comes to the power of magnetism. However, let me reintroduce y'all to Windcharger over here. Windcharger himself can do the same things Magneto does. Magnetic storms, magnetic shields, manipulate metals, all right? However, did you know that he actually had to train to manipulate Cybertronian metal? Oh, and keep in mind that Cybertronians have been around since before the dinosaurs. Like, Permian period. They've been around for that long here. So, yeah, Wind Charger is feared amongst even the casual drones or casual Decepticons that just, are able to be bended and manipulated here. And so Wind Charger himself here is known to actually manipulate the electromagnetic field around the Cybertronians in order to be actually able to attack and damage them. Okay? And the funny part is here, you might say, well, how do Cybertronians overcome it? Oh, they can demagnetize themselves, but here's the thing, right? Wind Charger figured out that he can also affect the internal layers of a Cybertronian, even affecting their energon as well here. So he can attack the energon inside of an opponent here. They might say, okay, great. That's a surefire way for Magneto to actually win here. Nah. Energon is not blood. Okay? It's not even organic in nature here. Alright? Now, they have some organic components, but they're definitely not the same as humans, if you guys get what I mean here. They're not the same as earthbound beings. Alright? And so, Magneto doing this would actually be impossible on a Cybertronian here. Now, I know someone's going to bring up, oh, well, what about the Proteus feat, right? He was able to rip Proteus out of, I think, Surge or one of the few Young Mutants' body and stuff like that, right? And this is what Magneto also says here. The fact that Proteus seems very similar to electrons, which are, again, on the electromagnetic spectrum. He says, yeah, you see, about that, you ain't safe inside her body from me. And he legit rips him out with, again, the sheer fact that he is made with electrons still and pops him like a balloon. Crazy, ain't it? And again, we do know that Cybertronians can demagnetize themselves here, meaning the sheer fact that Magneto would, again, not be able to manipulate a casual fodder drone. But let's talk about something else here. Energon. Energon actually does come in many different forms. Gas, sometimes just raw energy in general here. Sometimes it's just a crystal, a mineral. It's just a specific kind of mineral and stuff like that there. So, I find that funny, right? Because they can use anything to make energon. Oil, gas. Like Magneto's not bending no energy that's made from a gas. Alright? And again, concepts. You literally have them turning electricity into energon. Now you might say, oh, well, Magneto can bend electricity. This is still energon. The point of it is turning this one thing into another. Meaning you have to change the property entirely in order for it to become energon. Okay? You can't just casually take something and assume that it's the same thing when they're converting it to be something casually different here. The amount of places energon comes from is unfathomable here. They can drain stars, they can drain anything here. And keep in mind, Wind Charger, being an outlier, has to train his powers here. He had to train at the Gehaxis, or the Gehaxian Academy of Advanced Technology here, where him, Soundwave, and many other Cybertronians with special powers and abilities here had to train their powers and master them. They were not allowed on the battlefield, yes, including Decepticons as well, were not allowed on the battlefield until they mastered these powers and abilities here. So again, yeah, Wind Charger being a master at magnetism as well here, being able to have years worth of experience before even humans could walk and crawl, or humans even came into existence, right? There is no doubt in my mind that if Magneto went up against any of the main Transformers, Optimus, Grimlock, Megatron, RC, Jazz, Starscream, Soundwave, Shockwave, and stuff like that there, he would get pulverized. Unfortunately, in all honesty. And the thing is, again, you cannot use the celestial feat without looking at the context here. Magneto was stressing himself out. And again, this is because the celestial had nothing. No brain, no head, nothing. It didn't even have a nervous system. And Magneto had to connect to it here. Imagine trying to connect with someone living. Okay? A living mechanical organism, right? A biotechnological being that can still fight back. And keep in mind, Cybertronians analyze with their vision based on its own here. Once they see that Magneto is based on magnetism, they're going to make sure they take him out the quickest and most efficient way possible right then and there. But that's me all today, you guys. Please comment down below, like and subscribe and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I hope you guys have a blessed day.